Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and today we got a new Comic Book Day video. Actually, it's going to be one video, but it's going to be covering books from the last 2 weeks because I didn't have a chance to go the week before. And so this week I went down and I picked up a few of the books that I was missing from last week. And unfortunately, I don't have my list on me, so I can't tell you which book was from last week exactly. So we got a nice pile of books here. But I have a nice little bonus that I got from Third Eye Comics. This is my main LCS for new comic books. You guys who follow the channel, you know that. Third Eye Comics is located down in Annapolis, Maryland. This is their flagship store. They've got other stores out there, but this is the main one, the big one, and this is where they do all these signings. And I did pick up some books from a signing that I actually got to go to, but I didn't think I was going to get to go to. So I dropped off some books at Third Eye Comics and they got those signed. Really super stoked about that, and I'll show you that at the end, so definitely stick for that. But let's get into the new comic books this week. I'll be honest, and last week, of course, I wasn't overly excited about it, but I did have a list, and I do know that Third Eye Comics has a great backstock of the new comics. If I've shown you some of the videos before, they've got one wall. That's what you see every week when I do these videos of all of the new comics that come out that week. When that week is getting close to being over, they move all those new books to their main wall of new comic books. And sometimes you'll have issues up there. Sometimes you can literally find a year's worth of back issues on some of these books. And other cases, they sell out quickly and they don't have any more copies. Well, a little bit of that happened by missing the prior week. I did miss a few copies, and I'm sorry I don't have my list to tell you what I'm missing. I just have what I picked up. So sit back and enjoy some of the footage, and I'll be right back.
Many unbearable hours later.
So let's just go through what I picked up for this week and last week. And again, I can't remember exactly what was last week. We'll see, though. So first up was X-Men Book of Revelation. I'll be honest, I'm not excited about this new X-Men storyline revisiting the Age of Apocalypse and things like that. Honestly, there's not much about the X-Men books these days that I enjoy. But the one thing I discovered when I started picking up, after I dropped X-Men, I started picking up some of the variant covers I really liked. And in one particular issue of, I believe, just regular X-Men, I'm not really sure, but the one Ryan Stegman was doing, they had a different artist on there, and I kind of noticed how dramatic the art actually looked. It looked like Ryan Stegman's work a little bit, but it was a little bit more dynamic. And it turned out to be an artist named Nitho Diaz. Well, Nitho Diaz did the art for this book and the cover as well, although the cover doesn't really excite me. It is exciting a little bit to see his work on the inside. The only reason I picked this book up. Next up was Phoenix, number 13, a book I don't read this book, but when I looked at this cover, it's kind of cool. It's a little retro, and I'm going, that looks like Michael Cho, and of course, it's Michael Cho, and I love getting his books because I love getting him to sign those books at Comic-Cons. I just saw him at the Baltimore Comic-Con, and I haven't put out those videos yet necessarily, but you'll get to see a little bit of Michael Cho in one of those, I'm sure. Next up was The Last Wolverine, and again, I said I don't really care for a lot of this stuff going on right now with the X-Men. I'd already dropped the titles. This new Age of Revelation doesn't excite me at all. But you've got a new rendition of Wolverine, and whenever there's a first appearance of some form of Wolverine like this, I'll go ahead and pick that up. Next up was a book I definitely missed from last week. It is Radioactive Spider-Man. Again, this was a collector mentality with me. Let's see what this is all about. It looks like it's a part of that Age of Revelation. It's just carried over to Spider-Man. It looks like he is definitely mutated in this a little bit. So I don't expect much from this, but again, a Spider-Man number 1. All right, next up is a book that I did miss on my pre-order list, which was Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number 4. I had a chance to kind of thumb through the artwork in this, and I'm going to tell you, I may be changing the way I'm thinking about modern comics. I am not enjoying a lot of the artwork I'm seeing these days. This book did nothing to excite me other than me just being a collector, and I can't believe I'm still buying this book. So I know I've got issue number 5 pre-ordered. I probably will look to drop this. We're probably going to be getting this Ultimate Endgame for the end of the Ultimate Universe. I don't know what the plans are past the Endgame now, but I don't know. There's not much about the Ultimate Universe that excites me these days, but I did pick this up mostly because it is a Spider-Man title. All right, book I know was definitely last week was... Actually, no, it was this week. I'm sorry. Return to Sleepy Hollow. Not a book I had targeted, but I saw this when I was getting ready to do the prep going down the Third Eye, and I'm a big fan of Sleepy Hollow, Ichabod Crane, that whole Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Headless Horseman. I love that lore, that mythology, that it's an American classic, and I love the movie with Johnny Depp, and that's kind of what this, I believe, is based on more from that rendition of Ichabod Crane. And simply because of that, I bought the book. The artwork was interesting, although when I was reading through it, it looks like it's a little hard to follow, but it is definitely very interesting artwork. All right. Next up was my pull book for the week. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 14. Got a Patrick Gleason cover there. I always thought it was J. Scott Campbell for a moment, but it's Patrick Gleason. And then this was from a few weeks ago, or maybe even last month. I did pick up a second copy of Spider-Man Torn. There had been some buzz about this book, and it was on some of the hot list, like on Go Collect and places like that. So I just picked up a second copy to have that in my PC. And then when I was looking for some of the back issues that from last week, there was a few books that I had failed to pre-order, and I did want to pick up the first issue of the new We Don't Kill Spiders Season of the Witch. And I had met the creator of this, and I'm going to butcher his name, Joseph Shomalk. I met him down at Heroes Con this year, where he had signed some of his books. I believe I had the original We Don't Kill Spiders, the first series, issue 1, that I had him sign. So this is the new series, Season of the Witch. So I picked that up and see how... It was a pretty interesting book, so I'm interested in reading this for sure. And while I was right there, they had a whole wall of Spawn, King Spawn number 50. That was a big issue that just came out. And I'm not a Spawn fan in particular, but they did have a Scotty Young cover right there, and I don't think you can go wrong with a Scotty Young cover with Spawn on it. Now that was everything that I picked up for the last 2 weeks. There were a number of things that they didn't have. It's okay, it won't kill me not to have them, and I may look for them. If I can find my list, I'll go out there and I'll try to find them at a local con, or maybe go to another shop. Maybe they've got a copy, but honestly, it's not the end of the world. But what did I say is I had some books that were signed on my behalf by Third Eye Comics when they had a special signing comic book creator come in. And it's one that I actually got to see. So if you've been watching the videos, who's the last person that came to Third Eye that I actually got to see? Well, wait a minute. I actually did get to see James Tinian, but that kind of doesn't count. It was for a New Comic Book Day that night. It actually was Brian K. Vaughan. And I got down there late for New Comic Book Day. I didn't think I was going to be able to go into the line, but the line was so short at the end when I got there that I had a few books that I brought with me to get signed. They weren't anything big. They were my second batch, but I gave Third Eye my first 3 books to get signed, and that's what this is. And they actually had my main key that I wanted him to sign because I didn't think I was going to make it down there. So I finally picked that up, and we've got from Brian K. Vaughan, we've got the Hood. There's issue number 1 right there, and that is the big key that I got him to sign. The other ones were issues number 2 and issues number 3. Now, these are the ones that Third Eye Comics got signed on my behalf. Here, I'll move some of those out of the way. I took with me issues number 5 through 6, and that completed the miniseries. So I've got the complete miniseries signed by Brian K. Vaughan. And I was about ready to say Greg Vaughn. It took me back 20 years from watching all the Milwaukee Brewers games. Greg Vaughn was a great player. Sorry, I had that in my mind, I guess. But Brian K. Vaughan was very nice. I was the very last person to go through line, and that was kind of cool. And I'm sure you got to see that video a couple weeks ago where I got to meet him. I picked up his graphic novel, and we got to talk for a few minutes. I just wasn't able to film because I wasn't expecting to film. So I've got a nice photo with him, but that was about it. So anyway, guys, that is everything for this week. Thank you for watching today. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you give me a like, slap that subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future episodes coming up each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. That may change after I get through with all of the Baltimore Comic-Con videos. I'm trying to pull back a little bit from my spending, so that also cuts down on the content. So I may cut back to 2 shows a week. To be determined. For now, it's still Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We still do live chats. I was going to say live on air, but we're not live on air. It's recorded, but I do a live chat during the premiere of the shows at 8 p.m. on the 3 days. So if you guys haven't had a chance, definitely check out that, and we can have a little conversation while the show's going on. But the only other thing is definitely leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about these books, and if you got to meet Brian K. Vaughan, I'd love to know everything. What did you pick up over the last couple of weeks at New Comic Book Day? Leave that comment in the comment section below. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great night. I will see you for the next show. Until then, remember, every comic has a story.